Good morning, children. Welcome back to the social session of Devotional Path to the Divine, where we have seen the philosophers, those are born in the country which led the Bhakti movement. The people like Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya and Ramanujacharya. And the philosophy what they have advocated like Advaita and Vishishtadvaita. And we also have seen where they were born. And children, Shankaracharya was actually born in Kerala. And Ramanujacharya was also born in South India, but not in the same period. Okay, Shankaracharya was related with the 8th century, whereas Ramanujacharya coincides with the 11th century. So, the Bhakti movement or the path, what they have told, the Adi Shankaracharya's individual soul getting integrated with the Supreme God and oneness of the individual soul was the Advaita philosophy, whereas the Ramanuja's advocacy was intense devotion to the Lord Vishnu, and Vishnu in his grace helps the devotee to reach the salvation, mukti, or the bliss of union of Supreme Soul into the Supreme God. So he also ensured that a place for people of lower caste people also to enter into the temples or temple worship. He propounded the doctrine of Vashishtadvaita. You should not forget that, children. The philosophy which has been propagated by Ramanujacharya was Advaita. The doctrine which has been propounded by the Ramanujacharya was Vashishtadvaita. Even in the public examinations, even in the competitive examinations also, questions relating to this philosophy will be asked. So he also told Vishishtadvaita means the qualified oneness according to which the soul, even when united with the Supreme God, remained distinct, and the merging of the Supreme God and the soul was actually propounded by the Advaita philosophy. And here, even though it merges with the Supreme Soul, but it remains distinct. That is what proposed by the Ramanujacharya under the Vishishtadvaita. Ramanujacharya's doctrine greatly inspired a new strand of bhakti which developed in North India subsequently later years after the 11th century. And there were many other movements also in South India which has led for the bhakti movement. One of them is Basavanna's Veera Shaivism. So this Basavanna's Veera Shaivism also is one of the Basavanna's Veera Shaivism. So this Veera Shaivism, Shaiva means Shiva. Okay. So this Basavanna's, we earlier noted that connection between the Bhakti movement and temple worship. Okay. Which in turn led to the reaction that was best represented in the Veera Shaivism movement, which has been led by Basavanna in his and his companions like Allam Prabhu and Akkamma Devi. These are the most important propagators of the Veera Shaivism movement. This movement began actually in Karnataka in the mid 12th century. The Veera Shaivism began in the mid 12th century, and the Veera Shaivas argued strongly for the equality of all human beings. There is nothing like higher caste and lower caste. Okay, everybody is equal was propounded by the Veera Shaivas. And even today also in Karnataka, most of the pitas, okay, most of the temples are related to the Veera Shaivism only, and there is a sect completely of Veera Shaivas. And against scriptural ideas about caste and the treatment of the women, they were against, and they were also against all forms of ritual of idol worship. Even idol worship also, Vigraha Puja also, they completely are against Veera Shaivism. So within the Hinduism also, there are many sects which believes that idol worship is completely prohibited. And there are many vachanas saying that attributed to the Basavanna, and Basavanna is actually the propagator of this Veera Shaivism. And later many followers joined him like Akkamma Devi and Allamma Prabhu. In the period after the 12th century, actually this Veera Shaivism has taken place in 12th century, which got propagated in South India. And from the 13th century to 17th century, there are many different parts of the country, many sages, many kinds of poets, saint poets also had propagated the Bhakti movement. If you have seen the people like the poets like Sakubai, Eknath, Jnaneshwar, Tukaram, and these all are the people, saint poets who propagated the Bhakti movement between the 13th century to the 17th century. They sang simple Marathi, continue to inspire people till date also. And the most important among them were Jnaneshwar, Eknath, Tukaram, and Namdev, as well as a woman saint poet like Sakubai, and the family of Chokkamela, who belonged to the untouchable Meher caste. Actually, in Maharashtra, Meher caste is the untouchable caste. Even B.R. Ambedkar also belongs to the same caste. We have seen Meher caste. So these people started propagating the Bhakti movement through their songs. And the regional tradition of Bhakti focused on the Vittala, a form of Vishnu. Actually, Vishnu is prayed in different forms. Rama is also one of the form of the Vishnu, and even Krishna is also one of the form of the Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. So Vittala is also one such incarnation of Lord Vishnu. They started praying to Vittalnath, and they have constructed even a temple for Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, at Pandharpur. Even today also it's one of the most sacred place for the Hindus, as well as one on the notion of personal God residing in the hearts of the people. Okay. And Pandharpur, even though it is a temple of Lord Vishnu, which is a center for the propagation of the Bhakti movement in Maharashtra. We shall see about many other inspiring poets in the next class, children. Thank you till then.